Standards versus expectations. Hi there, if you're new here, my name is Candela. I'm a self-love mindset coach and I'm here to inspire you, to bring you tips, stories, share my experience on how to become the version of yourself that you know you are meant to be, and to inspire you to take bold action, to love yourself more, to fall in love with your life, and to see how the whole world rises to meet you there. And today I was having a conversation with a friend, and this topic came to mind about standards and expectations, because it's sometimes, and I guess if you are a fellow woman who's dating even, it might be even more present in your experience, that sometimes we confuse the standards that we have for ourselves and for others, the way that we want others to show up for ourselves, with our expectations. And I feel that, and I know it from experience, that a lot of the issues and the problems around relationships, and this could be with family, with friends, romantic relationships, like any relationships, most of the problems that arises are because communication is not clear. It's because sometimes, or should I say a lot of times, we hope that people will read our minds, or we hope that people will act in the same way that we would. And that's such a big mistake, and that's something that I had to learn I had to learn the hard way, because especially with the people that are closer to you, like the closest to you, we sometimes think that they have to know ourselves so much that they should know better. And yes, we are not justifying bad behavior or disrespect, but I'm talking about the small things. Especially if you are anything like me and you are used to doing everything alone, and you are used to taking care of yourself, of your body, of your home, of your work. Like, you are in that position of being on your own and having to manage everything yourself. We tend to think that, people should know better. People should read our minds, or they should be there for us. And this is something that I learned this last year. A lot of times, people don't show up for us or are not there for us because we don't ask for it. Because think about it this way. If you are someone who is always the one that looks like has it all together from the outside, the ones that manages everything, the ones, maybe you are even the person that everyone else comes to you for support, for advice, for help. If you're that person, and if you've been acting like that for most of your life, then that's kind of the way that people see you. So people assume that you don't need help, that you don't need support. And a lot of time, it's a matter of being honest with the people around you and telling them, hey, I would really appreciate your help here. I would really appreciate you supporting me with this. And I know it's not easy. I know it's easier said than done, but I've been practicing that last year. Letting the people around me help me, hold me, support me, telling them, hey, you know what? I'm really struggling here. Can you be there for me? Can you do this for me? Because again, I was used for my whole life, used to being the one who was always helping everyone, being there for everyone, supporting everyone, always saying yes. And I hold these really high standards for myself in the way that I show up for myself and for others. And a lot of times I confuse the standards that I held for myself with my expectations about other people. Silent expectations. And again, I feel miscommunication or lack of communication, it's the biggest issue in a lot of relationships. And yes, sometimes maybe you don't feel safe telling your needs, or you feel like people will maybe pull away if you say those things out loud. But here is the good news. If someone in your life doesn't feel comfortable with you expressing your needs, the best thing that you could do is actually expressing your needs. Because you're gonna be able to see who stays by your side when you are not the one who's solving everything. Ooh, that was good. Let me say that again. When you start telling your needs out loud, you are gonna know who are the people in your life who can stay when you are not always the one giving, supporting, doing. Who are the ones that are gonna be there to support you and to give you back? Because I know you're probably someone wired really similar to me. If you're listening to this, I'm sure that you are a giver, that you are someone who naturally takes that place of giving, helping, supporting. What about you? But what about you? Because it might be time for you to receive back. It might be time for you to identify the relationships in your life who are actually reciprocated. The relationships in your life that are not only based on you giving, the one supporting, giving, and being there. It might be time for you to realize that. And I know, again, it's easier said than done, and I know it's hard to face those things. It happened to me 2 years ago when I was really struggling with grief, and I started voicing it that because for 1-2 years before that, I pretended to be fine. I had it all together. No, I'm fine. I don't need anything. And at some point, I collapsed. I couldn't take it any longer. I needed to grieve. And when I started saying that out loud to the people around me, it wasn't pretty, because some of the people that I really loved and care about, I realized that they weren't actually there for me. They were there for the fun, giving, loving, ready to help version of me. But they weren't there for the vulnerable, the needy, if you want to call it, version of me. They weren't able to support me, to have my back in those moments. And that helped me put things in perspective. And that doesn't mean that I stopped talking to most of those people, no, but it means that my priorities are clear, are way more clear than they were before. And I know who deserves my time and my energy. And at the end of the day, it all comes back to that. And again, I was always putting those silent expectations on them. But then when I voiced them, that was the real proof of, can you be there for me? Can you support me? Can you help me? And that literally changed the whole relationships. The relationships that were meant for me, the friendships, even like my family members, with some of them we're closer, with some of them that made us be a little bit more apart than before. But for the relationships that are meant for you, that's gonna make them deeper, more connected, more loving. Because when you are able to show all the parts of yourself to others, and they are able to hold all of that parts of you, all of those parts of you, that's powerful. That's when real connection, real love, real growth happen. So I invite you to think about what are the things that you hold at your standards, and what are the things that you might have as silent expectations in the different relationships of your life. And how can you start, maybe little by little, voice them, say them out loud, your needs, what you need support with, the things that you are struggling with. And I invite you to just collect information. It's nothing more than that. Collect information about how other people in your life react to that. So then you can prioritize and see who deserves your time, your energy, your presence. Because if no one told you this, it is a privilege to know you, to be around you, to experience you, to be someone worthy of spending time and energy on. So yes, take yourself seriously. Take your time and your energy seriously, because those are your biggest assets. And yeah, I invite you to do this exercise. Share with me if something comes up, and see you around.